Hi and welcome back, or welcome to Weoley Tropicals. It's Eddie again, coming to you today with a bit of a plant haul video, things that I've bought. One for the palm tree company, which is the thing growing out at the top of my head at the moment, as well as in the greenhouse. I've got 2 banana plants, which have been on my bucket list for a long time. Those that are returning. I really appreciate you tuning in again. Hope you're well. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. So, give you a couple of hints. I'm sure you've guessed what it is already. It's from Tasmania or southeast Australia. Prefers a damp, shaded area. Fronds can grow up to around about 3 meters tall. The trunk on it is made up of like a mass of fibrous roots. Grows on average around about 1 inch a year. And the beast behind me, according to AI, so don't kill me if this is wrong, it says around about 60 years plus to get to the size. So I really have bought an awful lot of time, and it's got an absolute beautiful prehistoric vibe. Without further ado, let's get out of the way. So that's a Dicksonia Antarctica tree fern. As you can see there, I'll do a bit of a tree hugger special. Stand next to my tree fern. It's an absolute colossal beast, as I always say about the Musa. This thing is fantastic. What an absolute backdrop that's going to form over where the greenhouse section is. I'm probably going to get one that's a bit smaller to put in front of it. On this one, I have never grown these before. It was something that was encouraged me from another YouTuber who I'm going to pass you on to now. Someone with far more experience with ferns. He grows an absolute great range. His pond area looks absolutely fantastic. And that's Richard over Richard's Tropical Garden Projects channel. And I'll take you back into the greenhouse.
Thanks, Eddie. Spot on with the information so far on that one. Really jealous of your new 6-foot tree fern. Just having a look here, guys. We've got 15 tree ferns in my little jungle area here. Based it around the pond, as Eddie mentioned. High humidity, high moisture for these. Really looking forward to see what else Eddie has in his plant haul. So let's jump back over to Eddie and the greenhouse.
Appreciate that, Rich. Completely different vibe having the collection of tree ferns with that massive pond area. It looks absolutely fantastic. Again, mine's only just started today, so it's just the difference in that just having one colossal beast versus the collection. The collection looks absolutely fantastic, so good for people to see. Don't forget, if you're still tuned and still watching at this point, to give both channels a subscribe, because it's a collaboration. If you click on the subscribe button, it'll bring up both channels to make it easier for you. And who doesn't want more plant YouTubers on the list, right? So without further waffle, I'm going to bring to you next. Earlier in the year, I had a decision to make between 2, which was the Montbéliardi and the Hiniba. And earlier in the year, I bought the Montbéliardi, mainly because I just like saying that word, to be fair with you. But also, this was always going to get purchased as well. This was always something that was going to end up in my garden. So, got this from Jungle in a Box. My first experience through buying with them. I'm sure loads of you have already ordered from them. But it's absolutely fantastic. This is known for being more of an upright banana. And I think it was Monson that had one. I'm sure it ended up in like the local news on there because it was an absolute beast. Known for its red midrib that runs down the centre. You can see there's some coloration coming on that midrib there. Looks fantastic coming through the post as well, because as we all know, anybody that sends plants through the post, the couriers treat those like baggage handlers, and they're more than happy to smash up your plants, regardless of whether it says fragile plants or whatever on it. It's getting tossed upside down. So for a plant of that size to make it through, kudos to them, because they had packed this really well. Give you a bit of information on why you need one of these in your life. It's basically Ethiopian banana from Ensete ventricosum. It's not a wild banana. It's not frost hardy. So most people would dry store these or bring them in. I've got enough room in the greenhouse for a year or so to be able to put that in there. And then I'll try with the dry storage. There's no edible bananas on this. It's grown just for the colossal size of it, the upright nature of the leaves, and like I say, the red interesting midrib. The more sun this plant gets, the deeper and richer the red tones on the leaves are, is what I'm informed with this as well. It's a thirsty and hungry plant as well, so they like a lot of feed. Anything that's got decent sized leaves will need a feed. You can get up to 4 meters tall and 2.5 to 4 meters wide as well with the wingspan on it. I believe it's a thinner nature than the Morellii that I had years ago, and that thing just got so wide on there that it was difficult to get in the greenhouse. I'm looking forward to putting this by the pond area to have those 2 things, the tree fern and then the Hiniba, as that first thing that you see as you enter the garden. I think it'll look fantastic. The plans might change next year, but that's the kind of thing that I'm going for. I haven't got any examples of this looking mature, so have a little look online on Instagram. I saw there were some fantastic examples, but I've got nothing to put on there at the moment on the screen. And like I said, on to the next one, which was a banana plant that I've been after for a number of years. And now I've got that in my collection as well. And then finally for today's plant haul is the Musa ice cream, aka Blue Java. This one hasn't fared quite so well through the post, but again, the box for this one was particularly bad, and it had been upside down at one point, but again, not how it was sent. I'm absolutely sure about that. These ones are very interesting because they do have an edible fruit, and the amount of videos I've filmed about banana plants, and then the very first thing I have to mention is that it doesn't actually have edible fruit. These ones do. They start off like a silvery blue kind of colour, and as they ripen, they go into the traditional yellow bananas. They're monocarpic, so when they flower, go into fruit, and they form those bananas, that pseudostem will actually die back and it'll pop from the base. The interesting fact with these bananas is the reason they're called ice cream is because the actual taste of the banana is like a vanilla ice cream kind of flavour. Not a fan of actually eating bananas, but if I ever get this to flower, we'll actually eat one just so I can report back to you. Got a very fast growing plant here. Can go from like between about 1 metre and 1.5 metres of trunk per year, is what they say online. And the max is between about 2.5 and 3 metres, but if you get it in ideal conditions, you can apparently get them up to 4 metres. Very interesting. Young leaves on this one are like a silvery blue colour, then they kind of mature into like a greeny kind of blue. Again, growing conditions of this one are full sun, but they can take a bit of part shade. But with all the bananas, you get the best out of them. You can give them moist, rich, fertile soil in full sun conditions. So with all that said, that's my plant haul. I've spent a fortune on those. I mean, mainly on the tree fern, if I'm being honest, but it was a fantastic bargain compared to what you can get. I did go to a garden centre the week before I ordered this, and the one there was about £800-900, and it was legitimately half the size of that. So I'm really buzzing with the Palm Tree Company and also with Jungle in a Box. Don't forget to give them some support as well if you're in the market for any of these things. And hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Just a quick whistle stop tour with that, and I will throughout next season we'll be documenting how they get on and give you the reality. What AI says and what online says very much determined by your local. If you've got a local microclimate in your garden, you get the right conditions, you got the right nutrients, as well as where you are in the country as well. People down London way will have an easier winter than what I'm going to get, or what they'll get up in Scotland as well. So really you have to take it with a pinch of salt with the information you get online, and try and test these things. If you're like me, I get scared, and when they say I can take -2, my plants aren't seeing that. I've got the space in the greenhouse, I'm going to chuck them in there. So if you want to do what I do, bring them in earlier, that's fine. If you're one of those that like to really push the boundaries, give them a go. If you can afford to lose a plant, you've got absolutely nothing to lose by testing whether some of these plants will last a little bit longer in your conditions based on how wet and waterlogged the soil is, versus if you've got a bit more kind of free draining soil. They will last a little bit longer outside as well. But thank you very much for watching. Genuinely appreciate anybody that watches any of my videos. It spurs me on, but thanks again.